Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome back to Cavern Kings. Let's play as Shelby today. I haven't played as her in a while. And let's see what she looks like with some of the masks on. Again, they don't fit particularly well. I think we found our mask. The kind of creepy Mario one works, but I like the pig. It fits well. Okay, let's try the kick beam cannon. And go back to the jackhammer. Okay, so I've been doing some research, or not research, but data gathering. For those of you that didn't participate in the poll that I put up yesterday, yes, I did actually put it up. Yes, it was a little bit late. I apologize about that. I was distracted. Divinity Original Sin came out, and it was awesome, and I got very much distracted by it. Let's see. Let's crank this down a little bit. It's loud. But so data gathering. What are the results? I mean, obviously this is a small pool of. I don't actually have the numbers. My current recording setup. Okay, you know what? This is dumb. I need to actually see the full results. Screw it. I'm just gonna assume it's recording fully. Okay, so of the 26 people that have responded in the poll, and I'm gonna have the poll up for a while, and I'll, refer to it a couple of times. But the statistics haven't changed that drastically since I first looked, or I last looked last night, and then, looking at it right now. But out of 26 people, let's see. Only 6 people have actually played Cavern Kings. 12 people just said no. They do not play Cavern Kings, and probably won't play Cavern Kings. And 8 people say, not yet, but I will. So, presuming, gonna pick it up as part of a bundle, or when it's in early access or something like that. And I might, do another poll at some point with, another game. Maybe Vagante or Catacomb Kids or something like that. With a little bit more specific responses, I'm waiting for it to be out of early access, that sort of thing. As well as, do I watch people specifically for these games? And, I don't know, try and go for more data gathering. Just because it's interesting. It's interesting that, really effectively only 23% of people that I polled have actually played this game. And, the rest pretty much, haven't. And I was expecting a much closer margin of, players to non-players, but it's actually kind of impressive almost how much of a division there is. Oh, please let me get 2 black hole boxes. Thank you. These things are amazingly useful. But ultimately, I guess it's not really a big deal. I should have been Mishka in retrospect. Oh well. It's not really a big deal that people don't play. And if anything, I think it's kind of an interesting point of information as far as YouTube culture goes, and YouTube gaming, watching Let's Plays. I guess Let's Play culture more than YouTube culture. Just because, it is such a spectator thing that I personally was of the opinion that a lot more people played these games, but I guess not. Is this bad? I don't think so. I'm glad that people seem to enjoy these games regardless of whether or not they've ever played them. I would love to see the data from people like, Sleep Cycles with his his Nuclear Throne series, Northern Lion with his Binding of Isaac, Rayquaza with his Risk of Rain series. All of them have some kind of commanding lead with an indie game, and I'm really curious about how much of their audience actually has played said games. Maybe it's a little bit more skewed because they're specifically known for those games. Whereas, the roguelikes I'm known for, not so popular, comparatively. Oh well, not the end of the world. I'll go back and definitely revisit some. Specifically getting the itch to play some more Cryptark. I'd stopped playing for a while because the audio is desynced, and somebody pointed out the audio desynced on this. So I'm getting the feeling that I have some kind of, weird issue with, potentially my motherboard even. Because I've reinstalled all my sound drivers at this point. So I actually don't know. I haven't upgraded all of my sound drivers, but there's either something wrong with my computer or Windows 10 or something that's making my audio desync really badly. And it's this kind of weird glitch out. I've heard it happen in editing. I go back and find this spot, and it's just the audio just kind of skips ahead and then just stays desynced for the rest of the video. But it only happens with my local recording. So I'm not really sure how or why, and this confuses me greatly. It's something I need to put more research into, but I've never heard of it happening before, so it's kind of limited in what I can do. And as far as I can tell, it's a consistent problem between multiple recording programs, so I have no idea. Technical problems are a serious pain in the ass. Even today, for example, I was, well, my video editor program, Premiere, has this thing where it will keep track of, like, all of the audio sources that you've got in a project. And even if you delete said project, even if you, like, delete the base video, it'll keep that audio around as, like, as some kind of, like, library thing, as temp data. And it does have, like, a tool to clean this up, but it doesn't actually get rid of it all. And so I'm having this problem where, like, my hard drive is repeatedly filling up with, like, hundreds of gigabytes worth of audio that I have no use for anymore. So I have to delete it, but there's no way of, like, selectively deleting the stuff that's useless, which has been a bit of a headache. So maybe once a month I have to just sit there for, like, 3-4 hours waiting for my audio to re-render for only the series that actually matter. So that's been a headache lately. I don't know. I've been off schedule and it's bothering me. Having a schedule is incredibly important as far as YouTube goes, and when you don't wake up until like 3-4 in the afternoon, you're like, I've made a terrible mistake here. And then you got D&D for 4 hours that evening, and it's just like, yep, I have no time for anything. So if a series ever, like, goes on a hiatus for a day or two, it's usually because I don't have enough time to film it. But it's also one of those where I'm trying not to have more than, like, 5 to 6 episodes of anything in a day. Anything more than that feels like I'm spamming you guys with videos, and that's not so great. I don't entirely know. And you know what? Hell, this is probably another great straw poll type thing of, like, should I keep with my, like, insane production levels, or should I really just, well, okay, I won't be able to ever drop down below, like, 5 or 6 just because I record too much, and what am I going to do with all this footage? I guess I could just, like, not put it all on YouTube, but there's a lot of people that like various series that I do cover. So that's a problem. Also, you know, there's kind of the desire to finish a series, like Knights and Pen and Paper, for example. I don't generally do terribly many, or I didn't used to do a whole lot of, like, sequential series, but it's become, like, much more of a thing lately. You know, between 2 JRPGs and Knights of Pen and Paper, this, I don't know, well, not this, actually, this is about as non-sequential as you can get. It's weird. Oh yeah, and we've started Divinity Original Sin. Next episode should be coming out either before or after this, or first episode should be coming out before or after this video, which is kind of exciting. Keith and I tried recording it, like, a couple months ago, and it was kind of one of those, like, failure to launch type series. If people don't know what Divinity Original Sin is, it's a like old school style CRPG, which is, you know, classic RPG, isometric perspective, heavy role playing, lots of dialogue, generally tactical combat, that kind of thing. Very, very rarely hack and slash will apply. Generally at that point you're closer to calling it a Diablo-like or something. But it's got, like, really good writing. It's got really good, like, combat systems. And it's just very fun to play. Problem was, all of the dialogue wasn't voice acted in the original version of the game, which is incredibly difficult to Let's Play. If you want to do a co-op series where both players are, like, talking to various NPCs separately from each other, it takes a lot of, like, it takes an insane amount of teamwork to even be able to, you know, to effectively create a narrative that isn't, like, disjointed and awkward. So we axed that one pretty damn fast, which I felt bad about just because it was, like, a really good game, but it was also one of those where it's just like, there's no way we're going to be able to turn this into a thing. It's just not going to work. And so now that they've fully voice acted the entire game, it's a lot easier to do a series on, which makes me really happy. Because I like cooperative RPGs, and I'm actually really disappointed that there aren't more in life, or if there are, they're all bad. What's a good example? or maybe not bad, but like they're bad for some reason or another. A great example would be, I mean, Lord of the Rings: War in the North. It's not necessarily a bad game in the same way that, like, you know, Bubsy 3D is a bad game. Because let's be honest here, Bubsy 3D is a bad game. But at the same time, like, you don't really want to do a series on Lord of the Rings: War in the North. It's not going to be particularly popular. Even at its release, it did particularly poorly, review-wise. Okay, so here's the question: do we go for iframes or Heart of Belial? I'm gonna go for one of each. Those iframes are important, especially if I can get a lot of them. More or less means immortality. Hard to tell, but I don't know. It's just one of those where it's like I love RPGs. Let's take like this guy for example. Very well written, very fun, and you know, just very good quality gameplay. Let's buy another Heart of Belial now that we're here. I don't think I'm going to be able to get enough money and get back to the shop in time. I'm going to get a shit ton of money from less than you'd think, but I did get a lot of money from that. And there we go. Okay, let's get out of here before we die. But like this guy is really good. And so I've been having an absolute blast playing through the game, and it's kind of one of those where it's like, it has a lot of content. It also does repetitive content particularly well. The randomized levels are really fun. Compare and contrast that with Tales of Hysteria, which obviously isn't doing nearly as well on my channel, but also just isn't nearly as good of a game. Dialogue, pausing, like, it comes down to, like, extremely poor localization. I was actually really surprised at just how, like, poor the localization in that game was. Because if you haven't seen the series, and I don't blame you if you haven't, the difference between like the audience type for that game and this game probably pretty drastic. But like Tales of Hysteria is classic JRPG, action combat, you know, gotta go save the world, that sort of business. Usually, you know, young kids doing so as well. Very rarely ever adults in these games, and even then the adults tend to not be particularly adulty, which is always kind of amusing. But the dialogue in the game pauses. Whenever a character speaks, it's like, says something, waits. Okay, next person says something, or the character then says their next line. Because what they decided to do, instead of, I need extra jumps, what they decided to do, instead of, that shadow one over there is obnoxious. He's faster than the rest, so he's making it really easy to, he's making it very hard for me to, like, get away. And we've got all these saw blades over here that I don't want to deal with. He really needs to die. I also need some, speed ups here. We do not have any, and it's becoming a problem. At least we're getting a lot of health. Okay, I'm just gonna go hang out in Sawblade Alley for the time being. I'm noticing the ice physics aren't nearly as strong as they used to be. You know, I'm not sending myself whizzing across the screen, which is interesting. But yeah, so Hysteria was localized in such a way that they'd only have to do it once for every language, effectively. Or maybe they did it with Japanese and then didn't bother with anything else to, like, properly sync it up. So, it comes off as incredibly, like, you know, cost-efficient, which I can't exactly blame them for trying to cut corners a little bit, but I can blame them for doing a terrible job of cutting said corners, because it's hard to listen to. And it's always one of those where it's like, when you're playing a long-form RPG, getting into a Let's Play series like that, it's like, you know, how do you... Will it even do well? The longer the series is, the more of a gamble it is. Take, for example, what's a game? Oh, Pulse. The blind girl that was, like, wandering through a cave or whatever while being led along by a bird thing. I mean, yeah, I've kind of axed the series, and I wouldn't mind going back to it, but I don't have the time to do so, without, like, sacrificing my time into other things, other series. But so, Pulse was one of those where it's like, the series itself didn't do particularly well, but the game itself is short, so even if, like, I did or didn't continue with it... Come on. Well, I'd rather have the Gilded Vial than whatever that box has. Because more money is absolutely worth it, especially because we've got a black hole box, and we can go on a shopping spree. Plus, a lot of those gems are probably going to come down here anyway. There we go. But so, you know, Pulse I can do a couple episodes on and drop, and most people aren't going to care. But, like, you get like 15 episodes into a series, you're invested, and it always kind of sucks when when whatever Let's Player you're watching dumps a series. Because it's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to, I mean, we already know that a lot of people watch Let's Players and don't actually play, say, you know, said game that the Let's Player is playing. So it's kind of one of those where it's like, well, I guess you go find somebody else, which sucks for me, because it's like, you know, my bottom line is I need a bare minimum number of views to actually even, like, make a living off of this, and to be quite honest, I don't. I'm getting there, but still. It's way better than, you know, when I was last doing this series, that's for certain. But it's one of those where it's like, if series is getting like a fifth of the views of anything else, it's like, you gotta weigh, like, is this worth it internally? You know, am I having enough fun that I need to continue with this regardless? I'm gonna just go down right in the center of that saw blade there. Let's see. But so, like, trying to weigh that always sucks. But the alternative is, and this is almost kind of the worst thing, let's take, conversely, my series of Pro Gamer Manager, which I like the idea of that game, but the game itself, horrible. Very, very poorly done. And it makes me sad because I'd like to continue with it, but it's just one of those where it's like lack of feedback, lack of proper game design, yada yada yada. Turned it eventually into just kind of a, wow, my tail really doesn't do a whole lot of damage. That eyeball dude was just kind of sitting on top of it, and it wasn't taking a whole lot of hits. But so, like, that got a lot of views, but ultimately I was not having fun playing it because I wasn't even sure if I was playing it or if it was just kind of there and I was pressing the button to keep it going. It's like a perpetual game machine, except for instead of, you know, press A to run, it's press A to something, and then the game will, like, punish you or give you benefits accordingly. And, like, if you couldn't lose the game, I'd be downright okay with it. But at that point, I'd rather just go play League of Legends and pretend I'm playing Pro Gamer Manager or something like that, and do that as a series, which would be funny. But, you know, the ultimate quandary is, like, this got a lot of views and was very well requested as far as, like, coming back, but it's like, do you do so? Do you sell out? Do you sell your soul for YouTube views? And I've seen a lot of YouTubers, Matt Shea, Dragast, and Jacksepticeye. I've seen them on Twitter kind of talking about this. You can't exactly play what you want, and it doesn't always work. And that's always kind of an interesting quandary, that it's like, I know like deep down that if I switched over to, like, you know, 5-minute, highly edited, you know, derpy videos of something, I would probably be pulling, you know, substantially more views than I do right now. If I switched my content up so I was effectively nanners, I could probably actually get away with that. Hell, if I had gone the, like, horror route, Five Nights at Freddy's, try and follow the, like, absolute trend. And it's always one of those where it's like, do you do that? Are the views worth it? Is getting this to be, like, a highly lucrative career sooner that much more valuable than, you know, truly having fun with it? Because realistically, like, I would be having I would still have way more fun doing that sort of thing than, say, being, like, a desk jockey, from, like, my perspective. So I guess it's kind of, like, not a terrible trade-off, but I feel like eventually you just kind of break and you can't deal with it. So ultimately, I act series that I don't like, and/or this is fun. Ultimately, I act series that I don't like, and ultimately, I'm not always going to play the most popular games. That's for certain. I mean, look at this game. It came out a year ago. People still like viewing it, so it's like, alright, why not? We're here. Maybe not as much as, like, if I had covered Planet Base this month, and I totally should have, but I missed the bus for it. But it's life. I don't know. I need more backlog. Actually, I have a pretty substantial backlog for things. This has been kind of a nice, relaxy week. The problem is, like, the tertiary series are suffering as a result. Anywhere from getting stuck in Human Resource Manager. You know, a lot of this is probably going to mean nothing to people, like, a couple months from now, which is kind of unfortunate, but this is kind of my, like, video log series, where I just talk about, like, shit that's going on in my life, or, you know, on the channel or whatnot. Because I don't do vlogs very well. I don't know. I can't just sit there idle-handedly and be like, I'm gonna talk about my life. No, I'd rather be shooting at things and flying by. I guess this has kind of co-opted, my old Tower of Guns series, as far as, like, the game I'm so casual with that I can just play and win, largely without paying attention. My headphones don't fit anymore. It's getting obnoxious. Also, would really like a jump, if I could get one. Extra jumps would be incredibly useful here. Out of my business. I got shit to do here. I got boxes. Boxes for days! Of course, my sweatshirt is not cooperating with me either. Man, when I move out, I'm definitely going to go out of my way to get, like, a much nicer chair. Did that key just bounce off? There we go. You know, I don't like this room. I don't really see a whole lot of point in sticking around, honestly. It's just nothing but crawlers, so let's just leave. I shouldn't have done that. Well, okay, it didn't screw me over that much. I hate it when it destroys the level on me, and I'm like, I was hoping that I could fight in here. Nope! Guess I'm just gonna fall down a hole. Not in this case, though. Oh. Didn't realize we were full health. Well, that makes my life easier. This sword is super useful. I'm not entirely sure where I got hit there. I guess I wasn't paying attention. I must have gotten hit from like, the left or right. I need more jumps. Last time around, we had, like, a lot of jumps, and it made life so much easier. This time around, no jumps. Well, we got 2. And doesn't feel good. I feel ground-bound, like Icarus. Except for, you know, I'm not gonna fly. Well, yeah, I'm probably gonna fly too close to the sun. Except the sun is constantly just coming down to crush me. I'm like if Icarus was subterranean and still was building wings to fly for some unknown reason. What a weird dude. Okay, lumps of iron. Not the jumps, but it definitely does boost my damage potential. So I'm not going to mind that too much. How much do I need? I need nothing. Alright, perfect. Bada boosh. I don't know if this improves my sword damage, though. I've never tested that one. But yeah, having a kick beam cannon with a particularly high amount of clusters of iron is particularly destructive because it's the only it's one of the 2 weapons with, like, proper strike through. So I can actually, well, decimate people pretty well. Even though decimate is actually the wrong word to use. Decimate is a military term, old military term, to effectively destroy 10% of, you know, whomever's forces. Which doesn't really apply here. I mean, I can, but decimation at this point does not exactly imply a whole lot of victory. Mostly just, well, killing a bunch of things and still having a bunch more sitting around to kill me. So preferably, I would like to annihilate, not decimate. That is the true and proper way of the Shelby today. Okay. I do feel kind of like no guts, no glory. I should just go beelining for the bottom and see if I can make it. Maybe. I don't know. If part of it is I'm under a bit of a time limit, as usual. Oh, hey, Molten Core. Or Volcanic Bomb, my bad. Molten Core is a raid in World of Warcraft. That doesn't really apply here. But yeah, unfortunately, because of bad scheduling. Really, it's just my bad sleep schedule. If I could put out, like, YouTube videos at, like, 5 in the morning, I might. Maybe I just should start doing videos at 5 in the morning. I guess the Brits would be happy, and then all of you Americans, all of us Americans, I don't know, would have my videos there in the morning. I don't know. That's an interesting question. I might actually start doing that. Because I've always just held to the credo of, like, release my videos at a certain point in time in the day. I have no idea if people care. This is more information I need to know, because I know for starters I will never be able to keep to a good schedule as much as I would like to. I'm too disorganized when in my current situation. The problem is, like, despite the fact that I am largely unemployed and don't have anything, I spend all of my time doing this. There's still a lot of, like, other stuff that you end up doing, you know, anywhere from, like, you know, not rendering, dealing with technical issues, talking to, you know, significant others, parents, cooking. It's a hard knock life, I'm sure. Where are those guys coming from? Oh, they're probably teleporting in from that thing up above. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I could have gotten another volcanic bomb, but I figured we had to, and the acid flasks are handy. That thing went boom! Okay. I am a bit surprised. I don't think I've ever seen something go boom that substantially. But, I don't know. It's always one of those where it's like, I am promising myself internally, like, once life has calmed down a little bit, you know, once I have more time and, like, a more predictable schedule and less just weird issues to deal with, I won't, I'll be able to, like, properly schedule videos and, you know, actually have all the content I need. At this point, I'm just kind of, like, moaning about life and, like, the woes of being a semi-uncoordinated YouTuber. I feel like a lot of my problems stem from the fact that I spent a lot of time doing unnecessary things. Anywhere from, like, streaming vertiginous golf last night, which was interesting. If you've never played the game, it's kind of like if Satan made a mini golf course and then handed you a putter. That's my... Jesus. I don't know why they explode like that. I'm kind of okay with it, just because it just showers me with money, but... Kaboosh. I'm not used to the sound effect, but then again, I've had the sound effects for this game turned off for so many episodes that, of course, the sound effects are particularly unfamiliar to me. I'm trying really hard to get all of this money. There we go, and we got leaves and stuff. Yeah! Alright, so what kind of positive things are going on YouTube-wise, seeing as I'm belly aching about this, that, and everything? Well, I mean, for starters, I'm playing games that I actually enjoy. I don't know. This year's been particularly good. Oh, man. Ooh, onk, ooh. That is probably one of the best items I could have just gotten. This is incredibly rare, too. But, I mean, for starters, I don't know if people specifically are interested in Fallout 4. I know I did part of a Fallout New Vegas series, and I'll probably bring it back at some point when I have more time. I'm gonna say January, just because January, like, kind of the mid to late winter is bad time for, like, new games coming out. Because AAA tends to go, like, before Christmas and whatnot. Just to, you know, sucker kids in when they're, you know, desire for Christmas money. Or not Christmas money, Christmas presents along the way. Same thing with new consoles, actually. But, let's see. We're doing fairly well as far as time goes. We've got a lot of money. Might be worth speeding it up a little bit here. I'm taking some hits, but I don't mind. We also got the shield. Damn. Alright, that's gonna make my life easier. Yeah, let's see. So does, yeah, each chest open, increases my HP by 1. It's not great, but it's not terrible. But yeah, so Fallout 4 is coming out in a couple months. I am stoked about that. Or not a couple of months. What is it? November 11th? No, yeah, I think it's November 11th. Is that like Bethesda's just like generic release date? Because I thought Skyrim was also like November 11th. Because Bethesda just dibs that day. That'd actually be kind of cool. Every year, Bethesda releases one game on November 11th. And just that is their thing. I dig it. I don't know. More interesting than some other setups. It's better than the Assassin's Creed formula, where it's like once a year we release like 4 games and they're all super formulaic and not that great. I guess you could call the Fallout games kind of formulaic ultimately as well. It just, they don't feel formulaic in comparison. They feel like, yeah, sure, they're very similar to their predecessors, but they still expand upon the formula, and like they get so much right that it doesn't that most players do not mind. I guess the one issue with the Fallout games is, or not Fallout, but Bethesda in general, they have kind of a bad track record about releasing buggy messes, which is a bit of an issue. I need more money. Will I be able to get 500 more here? Pushing it. Oh shit, fell down. Got it. I did make it after all. It's Christmas. That saw blade is going to kill me. Okay, good. We made it. I'd like to get that money, but no dice. I don't know, but I'm really stoked for that game. What else am I really stoked for? Oh man, if you guys haven't heard of the Xenoblade games, Xenoblade 1 was released for the Wii, made by the people that made Xenogear. I believe it was Xenogears, which is like a JRPG for the PS2. I don't know if they did anything for the PS3 or Xbox ever, but so Xenoblade was like kind of a sleeper hit on the Wii, and is quite possibly one of the best JRPGs I've ever played. Really well written, really interesting characters, really nice like kind of setup, both like visually and like design-wise. And I was always actually kind of disappointed that it was released on the Wii, just because I don't feel like the Wii did it justice. Kind of like how Zestiria, it feels like a PS3 port, not a PS4 port, because it just does not have the visual pizzazz of its... It doesn't have the visual pizzazz of like a lot of its competitors. But then again, I guess Disgaea still looks more or less exactly like the PS2 games with very minimal upgrade sense, but I guess, you know, who cares? It's not the visuals that make the game with that kind of gameplay. Still, would like for them to up that a little bit. But so Xenoblade X, Xenoblade Chronicles X is coming out later this year. I think in December, like December 10th or something like that, maybe 8th. I've already ordered the collector's edition. I'm gonna let you guys in a little bit of secret. I've never ordered a collector's edition before, so I'm kind of, well, I kind of got the collector's edition with Destiny, but I didn't get the like physical one with all the actual fancy stuff. I just got the digital one because it was the exact same price as buying the whole thing, which was silly. But like I've never actually bought like a physical collector's edition. In fact, this is the first time I will actually be not setting out. Not leaving my house, but this will be the first time I've gone to a brick and mortar store to buy a game since... Give me a second, I'm trying to remember the last time I've like gone to buy a new release. Pokemon. It was Pokemon. Pokemon X and Y. That was the last time I bought a game on release from a brick and mortar store. Weird feeling. Everything else has just been pre-ordered or digital download, but, you know, this one's actually physical, so you can't exactly do that. By the way, this level kind of sucks. I've got them kind of shoved into a little death pit over here, which is kind of weird looking. I wish I could kill that guy. There we go. I'm not going to be able to afford that anyway. But I'm excited. It's coming with like an art book and a soundtrack. Honestly, probably not that worth it, but I'm excited nonetheless, just because it's nice to have a physical thing every once in a while. And I love art books. I'm an artist. Even though, like, I don't do artwork even semi-professionally anymore. At this point, I just do it, well, I mean, I guess I do it specifically for my YouTube channel, so I guess I'm getting paid for it. Sort of. Very indirectly. I am both my client and... I am the client and the, whatever. You guys kind of know what I mean. But like, jeez. I'm not prepared whenever that happens, honestly. It happens though, and it showers me with money. Look at that cash count just go rocketing up. I mean, it's all singles too. It's like if you walked into like a GTA strip club and blew up the place, you'd probably just get showered with ones. Or nothing, I don't know. I've never played enough GTA to actually go into one of their strip clubs, so I don't know. I probably never will. It doesn't really appeal to me. Huh. I don't have a book of secrets, and that enemy actually dropped an item. I guess they do actually have a drop rate, it's just very, very low. Good to know. I don't like this floor. It's just nothing but rollers and spike turtles again. I'm just gonna leave. I want to see if I can cycle here. I doubt it. I almost hope not, just because... Oh, really? You can drag boxes out with the void shard. Crazy. Yeah, let's fight these guys. Oh, I don't have Dracula blood. That actually makes these guys pretty dangerous, comparatively. Fuck. Fuck. This is not great. I mean, we could start trying to, like, leave. Shit. Yep. Time to leave. Time to leave. Time to leave. Okay, 26 health. That was hairier than I wanted it to be. It's kind of one of those where I'm like, can I, like, hero mode this? But, yeah, you really need Dracula blood to be able to survive that. Ow. Apparently those guys exploding on you do a lot more damage than I thought. Apparently it bursts through the shield. We should actually dig a hole here so we can get through. We're having some trouble launching here. There we go. Okay. What was the item that makes you shoot faster in this game? I guess there is no item that makes you shoot necessarily faster. There's burst fire. There's spread shot. But there's nothing that actually makes you shoot faster. Well, alright, we keep going down, and it's a boss. Well, hello, Mega Worm. There's a shop in the boss room? For the life of me, I've never seen that before. Alright. Let's buy several of these. It increases my crit radius, so might as well. Okay. This is an interesting run. Not gonna lie. Okay. Well, there goes that money. Then again, did I need it? Sort of. Sorta. Okay. Yeah, we might actually be able to loop here. We might get close. I don't know. I kind of want to bum rush it before I take too much damage. But that would mean I'm... Oh, no. Wait, my healing is actually working here. Why am I healing all of a sudden? The life... Jeez, the life shard. Oh, that's poison damage. The dark green 70s are poison damage. I'm only healing for 22 here. Okay, well that's fair. I was curious. We aren't taking nearly as much damage from these guys as we usually do. I guess if I'm like killing them at a fairly fair pace, fairly fast pace, it's not so bad. Okay, it's probably a good time to start leaving. Okay, we're still alive. I'm a little bit surprised at my general, like, I'm surprised at my survival here. Partly because I think kind of like subconsciously I'm actually like not escaping as fast as I could, because I'm curious, you know, can I live through this? And let's analyze exactly what items are doing this for me. Not necessarily because we can pick them in the future, though we know which ones to buy more of, if we can get the choice. But also, it is one of those where it's like, if I know exactly why I'm taking so little damage from these worms, and like have such a high survival chance, next time I'm in a similar situation, I can, next time I'm in a similar situation, I'll know whether or not to like flee or fight. And for how long. Because obviously, like, once you're taking the hits, it's like, yeah, you know, I should probably start running, especially if my health is low. But what about when you're, like, decently durable? Can you survive them? How does the, mossy clump, translate to healing? I should probably actually open this up so these guys can even get down here. It's kind of meaningless to have monsters that can't reach you. There we go. They're also shitting swords on things now. That is one tough sucker. I have a feeling these guys are gonna die before I can dig through here. I've noticed the drill, the old drill for digging through blocks faster has dropped and has a much lower drop rate. There we go. Them's the words that I've been trying to say. I'm just gonna kill these guys for the sheer sake of it all. we might be in trouble. I'm just gonna go this way. Never mind, they've made a hole for me. Thank you. Perfect. Are you serious? Oh, that's just inconvenient. So first and foremost, don't shoot while doing this. You dig faster when not shooting. Okay, this is awkward. We'll make it there. It just will take a while, then we'll have a bunch of friends that we might not want to be acquainted with on the lower section. It'll be okay. Okay, time to leave before the inevitable death comes rolling for me. Why are they all taking so much damage? I have no idea. That is a lot of enemies. Luckily, my iframes are really high, so we're not... Even if we get stomped by them, we don't get insta-gibbed. Which is really nice. I would like to kill them all, though, just for the sake of money and stuff. Let's start digging down. They'll die as we dig. They'll die as we dig. It worked. It worked. Okay, that was close. Then again, that's kind of part of the fun of it all. It's like, you know, if you're just kind of like raffle stomping it, what's the point of even playing? So here we are. Not raffle stomping. Well, I mean, we're raffle stomping, but you know, if you don't put yourself in challenging situations, that's the point of the game. I do feel like this game needs to rethink its like enemy mentality, because I don't mind the swarms of enemies, but like I would much rather have like a fifth the number of enemies and substantially more challenging enemies for me to like worry about, as opposed to just like, let's just kill everything, because that is what we do. Oh, there's a clump of iron that we're not going to be getting today. This makes me sad. Oh well. At least we're fairly fabulously wealthy, so that helps a lot. Notice levels tend to be spawning more enemies right from the get-go, which is kind of interesting. Not used to that. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit rough. I would like to get this box over here. Oh, hey, we got a tome. So yeah, if I'm just in here shooting and digging, most of them can't get to me. Hey, thank you, box. Okay, cool. It's gonna be a little bit shitty for a second. These guys do a lot of damage regardless of how much health and defense, and I am dead. Dang. I was really hoping I could get a health pick up there. That's it. That was a pretty good run regardless. I was a little bit scatterbrained, but I mean, go figure. It's the middle of the week and it's been all over the place. So, either way, I'll see you guys in the next episode of Cavern Kings. And as always, thanks for watching. Oh, and before I forget, the straw poll is going to be in the comments again. So if you guys can keep voting and you know, letting me know, have you played Cavern Kings? Will you play Cavern Kings, or do you just not play Cavern Kings and watch for the sake of watching? Because I am really curious. Anyway, so like I was saying, see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.